So my husband and I, even from the time we were dating, had always talked about adoption being a part of how we would build our family.
So I don't think it was a choice to, hey, let's go get a special needs daughter. It was a choice to, let's get somebody at home who needs it. And God matched us up.
Mila was born at about 24 weeks. Her mom was 13 when she was born, and she was born at home in the shower in the middle of the night. She was rescued by some amazing firefighters.
The call came in somewhere in the neighborhood at 2 in the morning.
I just remember a lot going on in a short period of time.
There's nothing about this call that was normal, I would say.
She was standing in the bathtub that was perfectly clean. She just said she's not bleeding, she's not hurt anywhere. I kept repeating, is everything okay? And at one point, that's when finally, after I'd been in the room for a minute or two, she said, well, there is this. I told her I'm gonna have to remove that towel. And she said, okay, go ahead. And when I removed the towel, the umbilical cord was still hooked up and there was a little baby at the end of the umbilical cord. And when I grabbed the little baby, the baby moved.
I recall one of the paramedics coming out holding just this little figure. You could see the sense of urgency.
Having had the opportunity to meet them before was very emotional, especially when one of them, the first thing he said was, he's like, I was adopted. And to know that because somebody adopted him, that he became a firefighter and a paramedic, and because of that, that he saved my daughter so that she could be adopted into our family. I can't even thank them. There's no way I could say thank you to them for the gift they've given us in her. When she was a couple of days old, she had a grade 4 brain hemorrhage, grade 4 being the worst brain hemorrhage you can have. And so that hemorrhage caused cerebral palsy and also caused a significant developmental delay as well. She found very much like a child with autism, so behavior issues, impulse control, some of those things are definite challenges for her as well. One of Mila's gifts is that she has a beautiful singing voice. She doesn't always sing on cue, but I love hearing her worship because she only will listen to Christian radio and she will only listen to worship songs. And she doesn't sing along while the music is playing, but I hear her afterwards. I'll hear her in her bedroom. I'll hear her somewhere else singing a song that she's heard either at retreat or a song that she's heard on the radio. But I can hear her, and she has a beautiful voice. You know, when she was really little, I remember hearing her sing "The God of Angel Armies is on my side," and just thinking about when she was in the NICU as a baby, that from her birth, that God has been the God of angel armies surrounding her, protecting her and fighting for her. So to hear her be able to say those, I mean, the fact that she could even talk is a miracle. But when you hear her sing those words, it's beautiful. So shortly after that first retreat, Levi was 6 years old and he just finished kindergarten. We'd seen some delays. We really weren't sure what was going on, but we ended up seeing a neurologist to kind of rule some things out. The doctor went ahead and did an EEG and found out that he was having seizures every 20 to 90 seconds. Very short, 1 to 2 seconds long, but definitely were impacting his ability to learn.
I went thinking I'm a dad of an adopted kid who has special needs. And now I've got one of my own. And the weight that carries day to day has days that are crushing.
So even now, 7 years after that diagnosis, he still has about 20 to 40 seizures every day, and they're still impacting his learning. It's made it very challenging to build friendships with friends. There's been some bullying going on. It's just been really hard to watch a kid who loves to go to school and who is so social and wants to be friends with anyone and everyone come up against kids who have really teased him mercilessly. We still had to walk alongside him and remind him of his value. So I am super fortunate and blessed to be married to my best friend who I love so much, and I wouldn't want to be raising these kids with anybody else. All that to say, it is extremely hard to raise kids with disabilities. Not a lot of other families understand what it feels like, managing the schedules, managing the therapies and the surgeries and all of the other things that we have to do. I'm so thankful for Retreat because that is where we get a chance to reconnect as a couple, where we're not on high alert all the time, because we spend a lot of our days on high alert waiting for the next blow up to happen.
We are going to Joni's friend's family retreat.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Grunau Family!
Really feel the love of God completely surround your family 24 hours a day, and know that this is actually what heaven is like, that our kids are completely accepted, our family members are completely accepted for who they are, knowing that they're God's creation, knowing that God set them up that way, and be in an environment where it's true.
So Jeff and I have a great marriage, and even though raising kids with special needs is difficult and trying, we really do cling to each other through a lot of those trials. And coming up to Retreat is just a reminder of the great relationship that we have, and spending time together for our date night, getting a chance to take a nap in the middle of the afternoon when that, is never gonna happen at home. And then to spend time with other couples and just sharing our lives with each other. It's always refreshing for our marriage when we get to come up here and do that. And so to be up here is like getting that boost we need to make it through the rest of the year. It's been one of those things that was, I think, life-saving for us because raising kids with special needs is a lot like a marathon. It's long and it's grueling and it's tiring. And so to be able to have that much needed rest along the way and that encouragement and that nourishment it's been amazing for us. So even though Family Retreat is really focused and designed for my older kids with special needs, it really is a big part of my younger kids, my typical kids, because it's the time where they get to feel not overshadowed by their siblings. It's a time where they get mom and dad's attention. And so it's good for them to meet friends in that situation where they know that they're not the only ones out there who go through this. I think every family that is raising a special needs child needs to be at a family retreat. I don't think we realized how desperate we were for what we get at family retreat until we actually came our first year. And now we look at it and we're like, we will never miss a family retreat. We need to be at one every single year. And so for families out there who think that, oh, we're doing okay, we don't really need that, I would tell you, don't kid yourself. You need it probably more than you realize, and I think every family needs to be at one.